And welcome to another episode of the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast. I am filling in for the normal host, Davo. Thoughts and prayers for Davo today. You know, Davo has a little one, and apparently around noon today, the little one opened up the curtains and sunlight hit Davo right in the face.
Oh, wow.
And he has not come out from his blanket fort since then. We're hoping he'll be out, in the next couple days, but it's kind of what Davo does when he sees the sun, is he retreats to his blanket fort, and it makes him feel better. But we are lucky enough to have a fill-in of our friend and loyal fan of the show, Barry. Welcome, Barry.
Hello from great state or semi-great state of Minnesota.
And as always, we have Kels.
When you said blanket fort, I just imagine him diving into it like he heard grenade. And he just...
that was my visual too. And like there was an eek noise as he jumped into it.
Yeah.
It touched my skin. The light was on my skin.
I can see him telling his 3-year-old that there's no room in there for two people either. So
right.
He's got to go find his own fort.
You're already dead. It's too late for you. And of course, Neil. Neil, what are we doing today?
I don't know. Barry's running the show today.
Oh, very good. What are we doing today, Barry?
Well, you guys are down south, and you Southerners, or you all Southerners, I should say, you like your nicknames. You got your Billy Bobs and your Jim Bobs and your Jim Billy Bobs and your Bubbas. So tonight's quiz is all about people with names of William, James, or Robert. Get it? Billy, Bob, Jim Bob, or some derivation of that name. Now, Andy, keep in mind the theme, and it can be first name or last name or a name by which they go by.
I like the way Barry does that, like talking to my 3-year-old grandson. Keep in mind the theme, Andy. Think about what you're going to say.
Well,
Barry listens to the show.
Barry, just be prepared to say that to him a couple times.
Well, I recall in all the episodes I've listened to, on more than one occasion, Andy forgets what the theme of the quiz is. Yep. And then he has to be reminded after he missed the question. So
it's still fun to remind him before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Because we just know that you're going to have to do it again.
And anyone who knows, I like yanking Andy's chains, so there we go.
Like everybody else.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You want to run through the rules?
Oh, yeah, probably run through the rules. Well, we have 6 categories, 4 questions per category. Then we have a final round, which has 10 questions. And we have some bonuses thrown in here and there, and a couple of easy modes. And we of course, they're going to get 10 points for a regular question, 5 points for a bonus, and we'll go from there. But the first category, Andy, you probably guess, it's science. Yeah, I know. All right. So question number 1, the theme is Jim Bob, Billy Bob, and all those nicknames. So this American molecular biologist, genealogist, and zoologist in 1953 co-authored with Francis Crick the academic paper proposing the double helix structure of the DNA molecule. What was his name?
Locked in.
Just for clarification's sake, do we have to answer it like a nickname, or are we using like
no? It can be his real name, his nickname.
Because I know this, and I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
And then I have a 5-point bonus. The female colleague who is largely credited with actual rightful discovery. What was her name? These guys kind of ripped her off.
You know what's funny is I know the story, and I know her name.
You don't know the names,
but I don't know his name.
Okay,
so I guess I'm.
So are you locked in, Andy?
I'm locked in.
All right. Let's start first with Andy.
Francis Crick was working with Jim Bob Williams. Dr. Jim Bob Williams, I'm sorry.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah. And what was her
Get
name?
them all in there.
Francis Crick.
We had to do it in the first question. That's unbelievable. Oh, Barry, could you reread the question for Andy?
Well,
please?
her name's not going to be William, James, or Robert. I think it's Francis Crick was the woman, wasn't it? I know it's a female,
Andy,
but I didn't think.
Andy, listen to the question again. Listen to the
All
question
right,
again.
all right.
This American molecular biologist, genealogist, and zoologist was in 1953 co-authored with Francis Crick a paper proposing.
Yeah.
And you were wondering if you had that right.
Yeah.
Judging from that laughter, I'm probably going to go out on a limb, albeit a very
right.
small limb, and say no.
Off to a good start.
Kels, what say you?
James Watson and she won't. Maybe she got it. Rosalind Franklin, not Aretha.
And Sensei, what do you say?
I'm going to be a little bit less colorful than Kels, but the correct answer is James Watson, and she was Rosalind Franklin. She actually took the photographs, and the other guys they literally stole her photographs and wrote a paper about it.
Well, I couldn't have said it any better. James Dewey Watson and Rosalind Franklin. That is correct. Question number 2 in science. This American sociologist and historian was born in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. After graduating from the University of Berlin and Harvard, he was the first African American to earn a doctorate. Name him.
I'm locked in if I didn't say it.
Yeah. I'll lock in.
And Andy, are you locked in?
I'm locked in.
Got it. Well, let's start with Kels then.
Said William Smith.
William Smith. And Neil, what did you say?
I think you were trying to be a little tricky with W.E.B. Du Bois.
And Andy, what do you say?
Yeah, I wrote down Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois as well, but I don't think that's right. I talk about him in class, and I've never read anything that he was the first doctorate, but that's the only one in a time frame I can come up with.
Well, it is W.E.B. William Du Bois. Question number 3 in the science category. This English physicist, mathematician, and brewer studied the nature of heat and discovered its relationship to mechanical work. This led to the law of conservation of energy that turned into the development of the first law of thermodynamics. The SI-derived unit of energy is named after him. Name him.
Energy.
We've had this before.
Wow, so dumping you guys already.
Well, I'm trying to decide if
in?
my answers. I'm locked in with was probably going to be laughed at.
Probably. Almost
I
certainly.
don't know that for sure, Andy.
I'm fairly confident.
Neil,
It's the
did
only
you lock
person I
in?
can come up with that has.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
All right. Well, let's start then with Kels.
Jewel.
Andy
James Watt.
and Neil.
I think it was Jimmy Jewell.
It was Jimmy Jewell. James Prescott Jewell. J-O-U.
Jimmy J.J.
L-E.
Jewell.
There you go. Well, Andy, your answer wasn't actually that bad.
Okay.
So
Except James Watt invented the steam engine.
we're not laughing at you. And I'm assuming you're talking about the inventor and not the politician who, you know.
Right.
All right, good. Okay. This American theoretical physicist was a professor of physics at the University of California and the wartime head of Los Alamos Laboratories. He is among those who are credited with being the father of the atomic bomb for their role in the Manhattan Project. Name him.
Locked in.
Locked in?
Locked in.
All right. Let's start with Andy.
James Robert Oppenheimer.
And Kels.
Oppenheimer.
Neil.
I think it's Jim Bob Oppenheimer.
His friends called him Jim Bob, and it was Jim Bob Oppenheimer. That is correct. So, Neil, after the first 4 questions in science, what do we have for a score?
So Andy 20, Kels 35, and I have 45.
All right. And I don't need to remind Kels and Andy that Neil has won the last couple of quizzes that I've had. So you guys have just a little catching up. All right. This category
it doesn't matter who writes the quizzes. He's going to like Neil beats us.
We have about 2-3 years of catching up. This is just advancing his lead further.
All right. Well, let's go to TV and see what we have there. Name the actress who played Marie Barone on the TV series Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh. She was into Scientology for a while. Why am I talking out loud?
I wonder that all the time, Andy.
Locked in. There it is.
Yeah.
Locked in.
Neil, are you locked in?
It doesn't.
Yeah. I
But
mean, I'm
it doesn't-
technically locked in, yeah.
Technically locked in. Well, let's go to technically locked in, Neil.
I'm not sure which one it is. I never watched that show. But I know that my answer doesn't fit the question, or if it doesn't fit the theme, but I said Heaton because I think
All
she
right.
was on that show.
She was indeed on that show. Andy, what'd you say?
You know what? That's who I was thinking of at first, Neil. But then I realized her name didn't fit. So you're talking about Doris Roberts.
And Kels, what did you say?
Doris Roberts.
Well, I'm going to commend Andy for remembering the category. It was, in
That
fact,
saved me.
Doris Roberts. Good job, Andy. All right, question number 2 in TV. He was the Dean Emeritus of the Actors Studio Drama School at Pace University in New York. He is best known as the executive producer, writer, and host of Bravo cable TV show called Actors Studio. He retired from the show in 2018 and died in 2020. What was his name?
Locked in.
Locked in.
I used to love this show.
I did
Great
too.
show. Great show. Kels, what did you say?
James Lipton.
And Neil?
Jimmy Lipton.
And Andy?
Sticking with that joke for the whole show. James Lipton.
It was Louis James Lipton. That is correct. All right. Question number 3 in television. Armando Joseph Catalino was an American actor. He played swashbuckling action heroes in the 1950s and 60s. Among his most notable characters were 2 TV series from the role of 1957 to 1961 and included 2 movies. By what name is Armando Joseph Catalino better known? And I do have an easy mode. And it's actually a legitimate easy mode and not a very easy mode.
I got no idea.
I'm going to need that easy mode.
Neil, are you locked in?
Yeah, I'm going to need easy mode.
Okay. And Andy?
Oh, yeah.
All right. The easy mode is he played the title role of Zorro, and he also played the father of the Robinson family on the popular series Lost in Space.
Not the slightest idea.
Yeah.
I figured this was a little tougher, but, we got to have those sometimes.
I'm locked in.
You are fair.
Yeah, I'm bringing out Ray Guy because Ricardo Montalban doesn't fit the categories, so the theme.
Sure does not. I'm locked in.
All right. And let's start with Neil. What did you say?
I have absolutely no idea. So just going with the theme, I guessed Williams. Somebody
All right.
Williams. Or maybe William somebody.
So what is your actual answer?
Williams.
Whichever way you
All
want to
right.
play it.
Kels, what did you say?
Said Willie Johnson.
And Andy.
Now Ray Guy comes in for his first punt of the day. Kick is away. There's a high twisting hang time spiral.
So
The key to doing the Davo impression during that is you have to have your little fists all clenched when you're doing it.
all
And you
right.
have to kind of bite your lower lip a little bit.
So guys, there's a reason that he is called the Sensei. His name is Guy Williams.
Wait a minute.
what
So
Williams?
are we? Wait a minute.
We are going with Jeopardy rules here. I'll take it.
He said Williams.
He said
Wow.
Williams.
So essentially, for every one of these, we have a 1 out of 3 chance.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, I mean, so the Jeopardy rules for names only counts for last names.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is correct. So, Neil, good guess.
Wish I would have.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm good. Clever.
Question number 4 in the television category. It is 2 weeks prior to graduating from the University of Missouri in 1982, William left school to head to Hollywood. William is the recipient of various accolades, including an Academy Award, 2 Golden Globes, and in May 1987, he made his TV debut on a 2-episode run on the NBC soap opera Another World. He also appeared in 4 episodes of Dallas. By what name do we better know William? And I have an easy mode.
A William who was on a soap opera in Dallas.
He is very famous, trust me. By what name do we better know William?
Okay.
This is a quintessential trivia question of late.
I'm definitely gonna require.
I have a guess. I'm locked in.
I'm gonna require the easy mode.
All right. And Neil, do you need the easy mode?
Yes.
All right. He won 2 Academy Awards, 2 British Film Awards. He first gained recognition as a cowboy hitchhiker in the road film Thelma and Louise. His first leading roles
super
in
easy
big budget
mode.
came in A River Runs Through It.
I'm locked in.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I have a story as to how I know this.
All right. Well, let's start with Andy
Brad Pitt.
and Kels
I'm guessing William Brad Pitt.
and Neil.
So my wife and I, because we're kind of lame, are watching a TV show on, I think it's on Hulu, My So-Called Life, which was very popular in the 90s.
Oh, I remember
And-
that show.
Yeah, it was a good show. Claire Danes.
It was a good show.
Yeah. It only lasted 1 season, but so anyway, we were watching an episode of that not 3 hours ago, and they were talking about how there was this boring fishing movie starring Brad Pitt called A River Runs Through It. And so I answered Brad Pitt because of that. I've never seen the movie. Don't think I've ever seen Thelma and Louise, but I kind of had a vague idea he was in that as well. But
And there's another reason why they call him the Sensei. It is William Bradley Pitt.
it's all about life
is-
experiences.
He's
It
got
is
the
All about
touch.
life experiences, especially the ones like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. Uncanny. Or a magazine he read while waiting for Chinese takeout in Florida in 1982.
It was Seattle, and it was like 92.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes all the difference.
Well, after the second round, what's the score there, Neil?
Andy has 45 points, and Kels and Neil have 65 points.
Oh, so it's anybody's game at this point.
Almost anybody's.
Well, let's go to entertainment. Andy, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah.
All right, entertainment. All right, question number 1. A very recognizable stock sound effect It is used in films and TV series, beginning in 1951 with the film Distant Drums. It's a scream, usually when somebody is shot. What is the name given to this sound effect?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Wow.
There it is.
So let's start with Neil
The Wilhelm Scream.
and Kels
Wilhelm Scream.
and Andy.
Wilhelm Scream.
Believe it or not, it is the Wilhelm Scream. That is correct. And it is supposedly named after Private Wilhelm, character in The Charge of the Feather River, which was a 53 Western when he got shot with an arrow. So there you go.
I would scream. Shot with an
Yeah.
arrow, sure.
Yeah, that would kind of hurt.
Yeah.
So, well, question number 2 in the world of entertainment is in 1954, she gained fame with such hits as The Wallflower, At Last, Tell Mama, and Something's Got a Hold on Me. She faced numerous personal problems, including heroin addiction, abuse, and incarceration, before making a musical comeback in the 1980s with the album 7 Year Itch. Name this deep and earthy voiced singer.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
All right, let's start with Kels.
Etta James.
And Neil.
I also said Etta James.
And Andy.
Etta James.
Very good. It is Etta James. So this is going to be a 15-point, and I'm going to give you a clue. And if you lock in, then you get 15. If I read the rest of it, you get 10.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if I read further,
Okay.
you only get 5. Here we go. He was born in 1955. In 1984, he played Eddie Rivera, Sonny Crockett's original partner, who was killed in a sting gone wrong in the premiere episode of Miami Vice. In 1989, he played a repairman on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh. I know who you're talking about.
Does that mean you're locked in?
I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. What was his name?
I need the
10-pointer,
next little
okay.
bit. I'll go for 10. Yeah. I'll let Andy work through his.
I don't have it.
Out.
I'm going to need more help.
Okay.
I know who you're
10.
talking about.
For 10 points. He has played roles in 30 different TV shows or series. He played Victor Cervantes on a 1980s crime drama, L.A. Law. He played a detective in 1990 police drama. He also played a political character on West Wing.
Oh.
I'm locked in.
Oh, wait a minute. Shoot.
15. I got 10. Can I get a 5? Can I get a 5? Can I get a 5?
Depends if Andy's locked in.
Ah.
There's no shame, Andy. If you need to go for 5.
Excuse me. I go for 5.
All right. He
5
appeared
is just gonna
as
be his name.
Bail Organa in the Star Wars prequel trilogy, and he also played them on the main cast of Sons of Anarchy as a high-level pimp. Name this versatile actor.
Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah.
And what'd you say before Sons of Anarchy?
He appeared as Bail Organa in the Star Wars prequel trilogy.
My wife and I always wanted a daughter.
Locked in. No, I'm not. No, that doesn't work either.
You can't unlock in.
Andy just remembered what the theme was.
All right, I'm locked. No, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
Blair
I'm
Underwood?
going with. I was going to
Is that
lock.
what
I just
you
realized I'm talking myself out of this. It's because he played. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, I got it.
Let's start first with Andy then.
Jimmy Smits.
And Kels for 10 points. What do you say?
Well, it's too bad Bail Organa was in like the 5-point part because that was going to be part of my answer, but it is Jimmy Smits.
And Neil, what did you say?
Well, when you said the Pee-wee's Playhouse thing, I was thinking either Lawrence Fishburne or Jimmy Smits, and then Lawrence didn't really fit, so I went with Oh, Jimmy
Well,
Smith.
for 15
I think
points,
I was stuck on Lawrence Fishburne for a while. Did he play a cowboy? And Pee Wee's
Cowboy Curtis?
Playhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was mixing him up with the cowboy.
A lot of people
Andy,
mix up Jimmy Smits and Lawrence Fishburne. That's pretty common.
Neil got 15, Kels got 10, and Andy got 5.
Hey.
Question number 4 in entertainment. He was born in 1961. He has released 16 studio albums, 53 singles since 1992, when he had a number 1 country hit that became the first single ever to achieve triple platinum status in Australia. He has a total of 8 top 10 singles on the country charts, and his debut album, Some Gave All, was the first debut album to enter number 1 on the Billboard Top Country Album Chart. Name him.
Locked in.
It's, man, that didn't seem like this person did that much, but
I've got a guess.
I mean, it fits. I'm locked in.
And Neil, are you locked in?
Yeah.
And I do have an easy mode for the fans at home. So the easy mode was, he is also known as the father of Destiny Hope. So Neil, what did you say?
Well, I know he was popular in the 90s, although I'm not a huge fan of his music. I went with Billy Ray Cyrus.
And Andy, what did you say?
Billy Ray Cyrus.
And Kels.
Man, I used to love Achy Breaky Heart. Billy Ray Cyrus.
And the father of Destiny Hope is Billy Ray Cyrus. That is correct. Good
Is
job.
that like an actual person?
Yeah. Am I supposed to know that person, or is that a... Because that's kind of a stripper name.
So,
No, well, it could be. I
Sister
mean,
of
Miley
Miley,
is
I'm guessing.
her real name is Destiny Hope.
Ah.
So now you know that trivia
oh,
nugget.
there it is.
Huh.
There you go. Destiny Hope is Miley. After round 3, Neil, what does your lead look like?
Well, Andy has 80. Kels has 105, and I have 110.
Well, come on, guys. You can catch up to him. But are you ready for this? History. Andy?
Yes.
Man.
All right.
Bring
Here
it.
we go with history. One of the most renowned warriors of his generation. He led Scotland during the First War of the Scottish Independence against England. He fought successfully during his reign to regain Scotland's place as an independent kingdom, and he is now revered. What was his
Locked
name?
in. I'm sorry.
You just couldn't wait there, Kels, could you?
Yeah, Kels was just all
I
over
thought the
it.
question was over. It was a pause right there. I was like, oh, that's it.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, I like him.
All right. Well, Kels was pretty excited. Let's start with him.
If memory serves me correct, he looks a lot like Murtaugh's partner from Lethal Weapon, William Wallace.
All right. And Neil, what did you say?
Well, it worked for me last time. I said Mick Williams.
McWilliams. And
William Wallace, who famously got his army charged up before the battle by telling them he was getting too old for this.
But
Was that Braveheart guy?
It's that Braveheart guy.
Yes.
well, this is what is I anticipated this happening. This is what is known as a sweep.
No.
Yes.
Is
The
it
job
Robert
of
the
a chimney
Bruce?
sweep comes with a great deal of responsibility.
Kels, what did you say?
Is it Robert the Bruce?
It is Robert the Bruce. That is correct.
Rat turds.
Ran right into that one.
Yes, you did. Question number 2 in history. How many U.S. presidents have been named James?
Ooh.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Just first name James.
First name James.
This is going to take me a few minutes.
Well, you got 1 minute,
Yeah, right.
25 seconds.
I'm locked in.
Oh, goodness gracious, there's a lot of them.
Locked in.
Of Andy's done. Can I like talk out the rest of mine and then
You sure can.
I land on that be my answer. Okay, James Madison, Monroe, Polk, Buchanan, Garfield, I'm gonna miss a lot of them in the middle. All right, I'll stop at 6.
So let's start first with Andy. What did you say?
I came up with 6. All the ones that Kels just mentioned while he was talking it out: Madison, Monroe, Polk, Buchanan, Garfield, and Jimmy Carter.
And Neil, what did you say?
So I wrote a question not that long ago about the most common presidential name, and I just remember that it was 6. I didn't count them.
It is, in fact, 6.
Yep.
Very good.
And I remembered this because I got it wrong with Neil because I forgot about Jimmy Carter.
Yes, I figured some people might. Well, question 3 in history. Jesse James used the alias Thomas Howard. What was the name of the dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard?
Locked in.
Oh, Locked in.
And I have a bonus. Okay. In September each year, the city of Northfield celebrates the James Younger Gang failed robbery attempt on the First National Bank of Northfield. In what state is the defeat of Jesse James celebrated each year?
I've got a logical.
Locked in.
Okay, I'm locked in.
All right. Well, then let's go to Neil. What did you say?
The name Ford sticks with me. I don't know what his first name is, so I'm not going to answer that. And then I have no idea where that is, but a lot of stuff happened in Kansas, so I'm guessing Kansas for Jesse James days.
All right. And Kels, what did you say?
I believe it was the coward Robert Ford. And since it's you asking, I'm going to guess Minnesota.
Okay. And Andy, what did you say?
It's Bob Ford, and it's absolutely in Minnesota.
Well, you guys used your good logic there. It was, in fact, in Minnesota. And it was the dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard was Robert Ford. That is correct. Great song, by the way, if you ever want to kind of listen to a bluegrass song.
I don't know why you'd want to do that, but to each their own, I suppose.
Say that again.
Nothing.
All right. Question number 4 in history. This United States Army general is registered as the father of the United States Air Force. His father was a U.S. Senator, and the Milwaukee Airport is named for him. What was this general's name?
Locked in.
That's not fair. Andy lived in Milwaukee.
I did. I have caught so many flights in and out of this airport.
Oh, okay.
What's the name of it?
Not saying.
Damn it. I was hoping he walked right into that. Oh.
I'm locked in.
All right. I'm locked in.
All right. Kels, what did you say?
Williams.
Williams. Okay. And Neil, what did you say?
Boy, I'm hoping Kels is right because I answered Williams.
Andy, tell them what the correct answer is.
The cool thing I always thought of in Milwaukee is most people still call it Mitchell Field. The old way of referring to airports, it's Billy Mitchell.
It is, in fact, William Billy Mitchell. And kind of a great story, but a sad ending. He was basically court-martialed because of his insistence on making the Air Force a major part of military warfare, and was found for insubordination. But he is the father of the U.S. Air Force, Billy Mitchell.
He's kind of the Patton of the U.S. Air Force in a lot of ways. He had that same kind of personality that Patton had.
Yeah, kind of. Yep, exactly.
It's my way.
Yes. Well, Andy did a little bit of catching up, but what's the score there, Mr. Neil?
Andy has 115, and Kels and Neil are tied at 130.
Wow, it is indeed everybody's opportunity. Category, by the way, sports.
Sport ball.
Sports.
Words.
Who am I? I played 11 seasons in the major leagues, the last team of which was the Minnesota Twins, who then gave me a job as a scout. But in 1965, they made me their third base coach of the 1965 Twins, who went to the World Series. Who was this third base coach?
Locked in.
I have an idea.
Really?
I think I know. Yeah, I'm locked in.
Could I? Locked in.
Okay, everybody's locked in. I'm going to give you a 5-point bonus if you can tell me what his real name was. What did you say, Kels?
Williams.
Williams. Neil, what did you say?
I think Kels nailed it. It is Williams.
Andy, what did you say?
I'm a little nervous because I don't think this. All right, so the key here was the date and the infamous. I
Yes.
went with Billy Martin, but I really think Billy Martin is Billy Martin. I don't think he has a different name, so I'm with Billy Martin.
Well, his real name was Alfred Manuel Martin, otherwise known as
Really?
Billy. Yes.
What? Billy Martin.
Wow.
So my father,
Okay.
my father took us to the Twins game in 1965. How he got us underneath, literally the after the game, underneath the stadium, and guy comes out, and of course, we got all the autographs. But the guy walks down the other way, and my brother said, "Oh, he's just a coach." And I went down and I said, "Can I get your autograph?" And he got on one knee, looked me in the eye, and said, "You like baseball, kid?" I said, "I love it." And he signed it, Billy Martin.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my Billy
That is a
Martin
cool
story.
story.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a cool story.
I still have the glove to this day. Well, let's try our hand at sports with another question. This point guard was a 12-time All-Star, 11-time member of the NBA team, all NBA team, and a one-time winner of the MVP award. Played 14 seasons, and in 1962 he became the first player in NBA history to average a triple-double for the season, and he's the only player other than Russell Westbrook to do it. He's a 2-time Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame inductee. Name him.
Locked in. Andy, I bet you wish you had your fancy lightning bolts now, don't you?
Yeah, I really do.
Neil, are you guessing
Sure,
Williams again?
I'm locked in. Yeah.
All right.
I'll just tell you, I'm locked in with Williams. So you can just skip right over me if you want.
Okay. Andy, what did you say?
My knowledge of basketball is extremely limited. I'm hoping the J in Dr. J stands for James.
Even I know this. That's Julius. Yeah, even I know that.
Oh, that's Julius Irving. You're right. Okay. Yep, there it is. Now I remember.
Julius James Irving.
Julius James Irving. J.J. Irving.
Yeah.
Dr.
And
JJ.
he was probably 4 in 1962, but that's all right. We'll go
Okay,
for it.
sure.
So, Kels, why don't you tell us who it is?
The big O, Oscar Robertson.
It is,
Still
in
don't
fact, Oscar Palmer Robertson, the big O.
I don't know. I
Incredible
think
player.
that one's kind of cheating, Barry.
Well,
No, nobody named Robertson has ever been called Bobby's son. But it's your show, so I'll let it go.
okay.
It's not anywhere close to William, so I'm just being peevish now.
Okay. Question number 3.
Just for clarification, Dr. J's middle name is Winfield. He was one of my favorite players growing up. It's not
Winfield?
James. Like
Yes.
Julius Winfield.
Dr. J was the one who was in the airplane movies too, right?
No, that was Curry.
No, that was
Oh my
that was
gosh.
Wilt Chamberlain. Or
Oh,
it was
Will
Lou
Chamberlain.
Alcindor.
Alcindor.
Still Chamberlain. That's right.
No, it was Lou Alcindor. Andy, you threw me there.
What?
It was Lou Alcindor, otherwise known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, okay.
Wilt
Whatever.
Chamberlain was in Conan the I think the
yes.
sequel to Conan
That's
the
right.
Barbarian.
Yes,
There
it
it
is.
Conan the Destroyer.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Grace
Question
Jones.
number 3. He holds the all-time record for ejections in major leagues with 158 plus 3 additional postseason ejections. Name this manager.
What?
He holds the all-time record for ejections in the major leagues with 158 plus 3 postseason ejections. Name this major league manager.
Wow. I would have gone with...
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying what? I feel like I've already given you that answer. All right. I got definitely has to be a close second to be fair. If it's not,
I'll take an easy mode.
All right.
I'm locked in.
Sure, I'll take an easy mode.
He also leads the
gambling.
league in playoff appearances as a manager.
Yes.
With 16.
Yes.
Not 16 games, but 16 seasons.
All right, well, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right, let's go to Neil, see if he got it.
So, because of 2 questions ago, I know a baseball manager. So that would be Billy Martin.
Okay. Andy, what did you say?
Gosh, if you would have asked me this first, I would have said Billy Martin. If it's not Billy Martin, it has to be either Tony La Russa or Bobby Cox. And Tony La Russa doesn't fit the theme, which I remembered. So it's got to be Bobby Cox.
And Kels, what did you say?
Yeah, I think Andy's got it. I went with Billy Martin just because I could not think of Bobby Cox, even though Atlanta for a long time.
Well, it is, in fact, Bobby Cox is correct. All right. Well, the last category in question in sports, best known for his performance in Super Bowl 22 against the Denver Broncos, where he was named the Super Bowl MVP after passing for 340 yards and 4 touchdowns, a single quarter Super Bowl record. Name this quarterback.
Locked in.
And I have an easy mode.
I'm locked in.
Solid guess.
Solid guess. All right. Well, let's go to Neil and see what he said.
Okay, so my answer is Williams, but I actually have a reason for this one. We did a Black History quiz earlier this year or last year, and I know that Doug Williams was the first first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl, and so my answer is Doug Williams. And
Andy,
I think the time is about the same, and it had something to do with the Broncos. I don't know if he was with the Broncos or playing against them, but I remember the Broncos were in there.
Okay.
It is indeed Doug Williams.
And Kels, what did you say?
Well, given the time frame, and you said against the Broncos, so it had to be an NFC team. I went with legendary performance by Doug Williams.
Well, and if nothing else, the Sensei would have guessed Williams, and he would have gotten it right.
He would have gotten it anyway.
So the answer is Doug Williams. And following his career, he began coaching, and he became the head football coach of the Grambling State Tigers. Oh. And he was, by the way, not only the first to win a Super Bowl, black quarterback to win, but also to start. So Doug Williams. Well, after 5 rounds, what does the score look like now?
Well, it's a different landscape. Neil has 140 points, Andy 145, and Kels 150.
Say what?
Wow.
It is anybody's ball game.
Sports is not my thing.
I guess.
Normally it's not for me either, but except for my Dr. J basketball thing. Not a basketball person.
Well, you like the baseball though. You got the baseball
I
question.
do like the baseball.
Well, you know what my favorite category is for number 6? It is, as Alex Trebek would say, hodgepodge. Now, you got a 1 in 3 kind of chance here, guys. Between 1924 and 1939, what was the most popular boy's name in the United States?
Locked in.
Locked in.
This didn't feel right.
Locked
It's
in.
one of the 3 choices.
Kels, what'd you say?
William.
Andy?
I'm sticking, since there's 8 presidents named James, I'm going with James.
6.
And Neil.
6.
I was trying to figure out if there was some significance to those years because popular culture often influences names, but I couldn't come up with anything, so I just went with my standby William.
All I'm trying to say is sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep.
So a tribute to my dad, whose name was Robert, and he was born in
Nice.
1925. Question number 2, and I like this question. A single photograph bought at a junk store for $2 was a picture of Henry McCarty. It sold at auction in 2011 for $2.3 million. By what name do we know William McCarty?
Locked in, and I can even describe the photo.
And I do have an easy mode.
Did you buy it, Andy?
I didn't buy it, but this is a cool thing.
Yeah, I'll take the easy mode.
Nah, I need the points. I don't think that's his name. All right, I'm locking in. Why not? Let's do it.
All right. Henry McCarty was a gunslinging outlaw in the Old West, and he killed 8 men. He was then sentenced to hang, but he escaped and shot 2 sheriff deputies in the process. And he was killed in 1881. And I have a bonus.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Who was the famous sheriff who shot him?
Locked in.
And Neil, let's go to you.
Oh, Billy the Kid.
Okay. And Andy, what did you say?
Billy the Kid.
And Kels.
Billy the Kid.
All right. And Andy, who did you say the sheriff was?
Sheriff Pat Garrett.
And Neil?
I didn't know.
And Kels.
I said Wild Bill Hickok.
The correct answer was William H. Bonney was known as Billy the Kid. And it was indeed Pat Garrett. So question number 2 in Hodgepodge. This restaurant chain was founded in 1936. And at its peak in 1989, there were 240 locations throughout the United States. By August of 2019, only 6 remained in operation, 5 in Southern California and 1 in my hometown of Bismarck, North Dakota. What was the name of this chain?
Locked in.
Yeah.
I will give you a clue, or an easy mode if you'd like it.
Okay.
I'll try the easy mode.
I'll take the easy mode.
It has a very iconic, a red and white emblem mascot.
Oh.
Oh, I forgot about the first name of that. All right.
Me too.
I was just
I
thinking.
don't like
it was
that easy
just-
mode. I needed those points.
I'm locked in.
All right. Neil, what did you say?
Bob's Big Boy.
Andy, what did you say?
Bob's Big Boy.
And Kels.
Bob's Big Boy.
It was, in fact, Bob's Big Boy. And the Big Boy in Bismarck had the famous pizza burgers. And then they also had Hottentot, which was a Coke with cinnamon. It was fabulous.
Ooh. Both those things sound like things I want to consume.
No gravy on it, but it was quite good.
It's all right. You can have things without gravy from time to time. I like to mix it up.
All right.
The other
question
day I
number
looked at a
4.
vegetable.
Didn't eat it. but
Did
he
it
looked
cross
at
you?
No, God no. But it was interesting. It was on a buffet, and I just kind of looked at it, kind of like a scientist would look at something. Like,
Got it.
yeah.
Well,
It is
question
weird.
4 in Hodgepodge, which is our last question of the regular round, is Jimmy and Billy are both, fit this category, but they were brothers named Carter, famous in the late 1970s. And in 1966, at age 68, their mother became the oldest Peace Corps volunteer when she volunteered in India. What was her name?
Oh, locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in with the guess.
All right. I'm going to give you a trivia nugget. If I don't know if it'll help, but it's a great trivia nugget. This lady was the niece of Barry Gordy I, and who was the grandfather of Motown record fame, Berry Gordy. She was a niece, so she is indirectly related to Berry Gordy.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Really?
So, Neil, what did you say her name was?
How does that work?
The name Lillian is sticking in my head, so that's what I'm going with. Lillian Carter.
Andy, what did you say?
Lillian is Jimmy Carter's mom, or Jimmy Carter's wife. Bessie is Jimmy Carter's mom.
Okay. And what did you say there, Kels?
Roberta.
All right. Well, this is an interesting because, Andy, I'm going to give you credit, but you had a fact wrong, and you said Bessie was his
Rosalind
mom.
is the wife.
But
Shoot.
you ready for this?
Okay.
Her real name is Bessie Lillian Gordy. So I will give both Neil and Andy credit because she was known as Lillian, but her real name was in fact Bessie. So
And she is Berry
the niece
Gordy's
of Berry Gordy the First, who was the paternal half-brother of James Gordy and the grandfather of Motown founder Berry Gordy.
Oh, and that's the last part. Okay. Because the ages weren't matching up for me, but now I get it. Okay.
Well, with that, Neil, bring us up to speed on the final score.
Kels and I have 165, and Andy has 175.
Check out the Misinformation Trivia Podcast. It's a trivia podcast for ladies and gents who love cool trivia and sticking it to annoying teams at the pub quiz. It has received the official Brain Ladle seal of approval.
So it is anybody's game when we go to sudden death.
Sudden death.
I've never done a sudden death before.
Whoa. All right.
It's not fun.
Well,
It sounds so final, doesn't it?
It really does.
It does.
and I think I've got some great questions going from easy to harder, and I'll be the judge to see if that's in fact true.
So
What's
we'll
troubling
all
is your
judge
definition
you.
of easy.
Well, I know that. I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's start with what I believe is an easy one. Okay. We got a guy named Prince William, who has a rather fetching wife, who happens to be born on my birthday. But what is the name of their youngest child?
What?
And I'll give you a clue. It is not James, William, or Robert.
You know, we fought a Revolutionary War, so I wouldn't have to give a rat's about English royalty.
Oh, Andy, don't tell me you're going to miss it on the very first one.
He may not be the only one.
Yeah.
Well, if nobody gets it, we'll continue then.
I only know one kid's name for what was a joke in my class, so I'm going with that one.
Okay.
I'm locked in.
Locked in.
All right. And should we start first with Andy?
I only know this one kid's name because we were joking about it in class because they named one George, and one of my students brought this to my attention because George worked out so well the last time. We were studying the American Revolutionary War. A very clever young woman in my class brought that up. I thought that was hysterical. That's the only kid I know from that family.
Okay. And Neil, what did you say?
Yeah, I also guessed George. I think they had a George, but I don't know if it's their first or last or 17th. I don't follow the royalty at all.
All right.
Because we won the Revolutionary War.
And then Kels, what did you say?
Well, I know they got 3 kids. I think Charlotte's the oldest. And the boys I might have mixed up because there's George and Louis, maybe. So I went with Louis.
Well, I didn't mean to start with such a tough one that would eliminate somebody, but the correct answer is the youngest is Prince Louis. George is the oldest, Charlotte is in the middle,
George is
and
oldest.
Louis is the youngest.
Well, there you go.
So,
There you go.
all right. This American singer and poet and songwriter is listed as one of the most influential and iconic figures in rock and roll history. And he was picked in 5th place as the best singer of all time. Name this rock legend.
Best singer and poet.
Singer and poet. Singer. Locked in. I said Bob Dylan.
All right. Andy, what would you have said?
I first was leaning towards Robert Johnson, but I think it's Bob Dylan as well, or Robert Zimmerman, whichever way you
And
want to
Neil,
go with
what would
that.
you have said?
I wasn't paying attention, to be honest. I lost, so I don't care anymore.
I can't win, so I've already lost interest in your little game.
No, I really don't know. There didn't seem like there was a whole lot to go on there, so
There wasn't.
I would
but
have
these are
said
the-
Williams.
Well, we apparently have a tie game because the correct answer is Jim Morrison.
Oh, hell no.
I know Andy's pissed off. I know.
Hell no.
Because he hates the Doors.
Who calls him
Does he
number
really?
5?
Well, I love the Doors.
Oh, yeah.
I
Andy.
agree that
The
he's
most
not a great
overrated
singer.
rock and roll band in the history of rock and roll music.
No.
Jim Morrison was not a poet. He was a poet. The Doors only became successful because of Morrison's behavior at live concerts.
So, Andy, why don't you tell us what you really think of Jim Morrison?
Oh, the most overrated band in the history. Actually, the only saving grace for the Doors is not Jim Morrison; it's Ray Van Zant on keyboard.
I knew that was coming. That comes up every time there's a Doors
Yeah.
rant.
All right.
Oh boy,
I've
their
done my
keyboardist
Doors
though,
rant
he was really
before.
good.
So what's the score now? Because apparently we have a tie game.
I ended up with 165, and Kels and Andy are tied at 175.
Well, let's keep going then. So here we go. Question number 3. He holds the record for being on the most admired list, the record number of times.
There's a most admired list?
There is a most admired list in the United States.
Who keeps the most admired list?
Apparently somebody.
I think William Howard Taft was really admired for a long time for his ability to eat.
Sure. I'm locked in. We're going to be tied again, Andy.
I'm locked in as well.
Andy, what'd you say?
I'm saying James Brown.
Okay. And Kels, what'd you say?
That's such a good guess, Andy. I
Thank
wish
you.
I would have gone with James Brown. I went with Jimmy Carter just because he's super old.
I have a guess, even though it doesn't count,
Okay, Neil, what do you guess?
because I know something about Barry, and I know Barry is a big fan of Billy Graham.
I am, in fact, a big fan of Billy Graham. I did some planning for the Billy Graham organization a while back, and Billy is, yes, he deserves the admiration. So the answer is Billy Graham, and we still have a tie game.
Still deadlocked. These are the easy questions, Andy.
These are the easy ones. James Brown wants a recount. I'll tell you that
Okay.
right now.
I'm culturing you two, apparently.
All right.
So even though Andy doesn't think the Doors are great, I do. But all right, the next question.
I just want to point out that this is not so much a sudden death, but kind of a slow, lingering death.
It's a slow death. It's a death by 1,000 cuts.
This is like in Austin Powers. It's very, very hot. I'm very badly burned. If somebody could come there are some people coming now to help.
Oh, you shot me.
I've
You
been
shot me right in
shot.
the arm. Please continue, Barry. We'll try to, one of us will try to win this in the next one.
Barry, it's not you, it's them.
Yeah, it's
God, I hope
definitely
so.
us.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're way
my
smarter
cheeks
than
are
we are.
sore
That's
from
the problem.
laughing. I hope people are enjoying this. Okay, let's go. You guys got to get this. Okay, ready? He has sold more than 150 million books. He is best known for a series of books about the adventures of fictional psychologist Alex Cross. Name him.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I'm locked in.
I know Andy doesn't read anything other than comics, but
No, you're thinking of Davo there.
oh, that's right, Davo.
I'm locked in.
Okay, Andy, what'd you say?
I'm not a big fan of his books, but I believe you're talking about James Patterson.
And Kels, what'd you say?
Well, we all know how hard it is for people like him to make it in publishing. James Patterson.
It is James Patterson. Very good. All right.
I'm
Question
still not
number...
dead.
Well, based on your guys' efforts here, let's see how well you do in this. He is best known for a titular role on a comedy series from 2001 to 2009. His other television roles include Saturday Night Live, Total Security, Twin Peaks. Movies include The Fury, Thief, and Man with One Red Shoe, and a whole host of others. Name this actor.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
Okay.
I would have said he's better known for being the lesser talented of two brothers.
Oh, thank God. All right,
That
I
was
guess
the
right.
easy mode.
Yeah, I saw that. I see that. Yeah.
That was actually an easy mode portion. Andy, what'd you say?
Jim Belushi.
And Kels, what did you say?
Star of, I'm guessing, the show you're referencing, according to Jim. I didn't realize it ran that long. Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi is correct. Well, the battle continues. By what name does the entertainment world better know William James Adams Jr.?
William James what?
Adams
Jr.
Oh,
Jr.
Locked in.
I'm going to lock in.
I am locked in.
All right. And what did you say?
Said Willie D.
Willie B. And Andy, what did you say?
Questlove.
Okay. And Neil, what would you have said?
His name.
Was this a black-eyed pea?
Are you referring to Will I Am?
That would be my guess.
And there's the reason they'd call him the Sensei.
Wow.
It
Seriously?
is Will I Am.
Wow. That makes sense.
Andy Questlove's real name is Amir.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
That was the first one I came up with. That I was going through this. We did like 10 days before I got to that. I'm like, nope, I don't know who Questlove. Obviously, not his birth name.
No, that's his middle name.
Plus, he had a very creative mom that knew he was going into show business.
Okay, next one. Let's go to a sports question. He made his major league debut as a catcher in 1962. He was a below-average hitter, finishing his career just at the Mendoza line of 200. He is generally regarded as a sound defensive player, committed very few errors, but in 1967, he playing on only 59 games, he allowed more pass balls in a season than anyone. He often credited with catching Phil Negro. He often joked that his knuckleball, the best way to catch a knuckleball was to wait until it stopped and pick it up.
Locked in. It's a trick that Neil taught me.
I'm locked in because, yeah, it's got to be him.
All right. Kels, what did you say?
I said Williams.
Ooh, and Andy, what did you say?
I think this is Bob Uecker.
It is Mr. Baseball,
Yes!
Bob Uecker.
Being from Milwaukee, 2 in a
Free
row.
catcher. What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Uecker was a catcher.
Shine through. I had no idea.
And realizing that it was Milwaukee, I couldn't change the question quick enough. But but I mean, he's so well known, and I figured maybe sports he'd know.
Oh, Uecker's,
All right.
Uecker's special.
We have a new champion who unseated Neil in the Barry quizzes. Kels, great job. But we have Andy who pulled it off at the last ditch effort there. So what's the final score, Neil?
I ended up with 165, Kels 195, and Andy 205 points.
Wow. Well, good job, Andy.
Thank you, everybody. Great questions, by the way. And
good job.
Thank you.
honestly, I think I would have gotten the euchre question, but I definitely wouldn't have gotten Mitchell Field without spending a lot of time in that airport reading the history of Billy Mitchell and the different displays they have there. They have some quite beautiful displays, by the way, of Billy Mitchell there at Mitchell Field.
Other than my North Dakota and Minnesota questions, had I known that you were spent time in Milwaukee, I would not have asked that one. But
I kind of consider Milwaukee my honorary hometown. I moved there right when I turned 21 and lived there for 10 years. I spent my whole 20s in Milwaukee. It's a great city. I love Milwaukee a lot.
Yep, great city. I've been there many times.
So well, thank you for being our clutch relief pitcher and coming in for us as we wrap up another episode of the Brain Ladle podcast. Let me throw it over to Barry and thank him once again.
You are certainly welcome. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And if you are not a Patreon supporter, I would encourage you to help these fine folks cover some of the bills and give them the love and support that they deserve.
We could use the love mostly.
All
I
right.
could. And Kels?
Well, in reference of a James that didn't get a lot of play today, as he once said, "Sababa dibba."
Whoa.
That one caught me off guard. It was spot on. and Neil?
This one's for you, Andy.
You know that it would be untrue. You know that I would be a liar if I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Tried to set the night on fire.
Oh, Neil,
Wow.
Thank you so much for that. That was fabulous.
Yeah.
No, don't thank me. Thank Lyricbot
It's
5000.
as if Dr. Seuss was playing with fire. But anyway, that's all from the Brain Ladle headquarters. Signing off.
Greetings and salutations to all you good trivia people out there. I know what you're thinking. Hey, I really enjoyed this show. How can I get a little more? Well, here to help you out. You can look up these good people on Twitter at Ladle Brain, or if Facebook's more your deal, you can look them up at Brain Ladle Productions. Hey, they've even got their own webpage. It's brainladletrivia.com. Now, if you're feeling generous, you can join a Patreon, where if you donate $10 or more, you can even get yourself a fancy show invite. How about that? Until we meet again, this has been 44, and I'm glad you joined us. Hope I'm out.
12 seconds there, Kels.
Oh man, this timer is intense. All right, I'll stop at 6.
Don't let him bully you. There's no timer. This is your show.
It is, but there
There's
you go.
a literal timer.
There's a literal timer.
The preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.